Making the jump to the Superbike class carries a high intimidation factor. Upgrading from a lightweight beginner motorcycle to a heavy, multi-cylinder machine demands a new level of throttle control and respect. For years, riders looking to bridge that gap have turned to one specific machine, the Kawasaki Z900. It has dominated the upgrade category by offering an accessible, reliable entry point into high-performance riding. The sheer scale of that performance is significant. We are looking at a 948cc inline-four engine pushing 125 horsepower to the rear wheel. This scatterplot maps horsepower against price. The Z900 sits isolated, high and to the left, offering more power for less money. For 2025, Kawasaki refined this package with sharper aesthetics and a new internal measurement unit under the seat. But the core question remains, can a 212-kilogram, 125-horsepower heavyweight realistically serve as a safe, tameable upgrade for someone who has spent the last 2 years on a 400cc bike? Spec sheets cannot answer that. To see if it belongs in your garage, we have to test its bipolar character against 3 real-world riding scenarios. The first rider is the ambitious upgrader. This is someone stepping off a single or twin-cylinder bike, experiencing the Superbike class for the very first time. Kawasaki tuned this specific inline-four engine to deliver exceptionally smooth, linear power below 6,000 RPM. There is no jerky throttle response or sudden lurches forward when you roll on the gas. This tuning creates highly predictable, stall-resistant behavior at slow speeds. You can navigate through parking lots or city streets in third gear without the engine protesting, easing the physical anxiety of managing a bigger bike. Once the needle clears 6,000 RPM, the character changes. The intake begins to howl loudly. The acceleration becomes explosive, and the heavy bike surges forward with massive thrust. To manage this transition, the 2025 update finally introduces a 6-axis IMU and lean-sensitive traction control. Looking at this radar chart for the upgrader profile, you can see how this electronic safety net maximizes accessibility. If an inexperienced rider grabs the throttle mid-corner, the sensors immediately calculate the bank angle and cut power delivery to prevent a crash. There is a trade-off here. Leaning heavily on electronics to mask sloppy throttle control on a 125-horsepower machine can build dangerous false confidence in a newer rider. For the upgrader, the Z900 is a highly forgiving teacher at low RPMs, but it demands strict discipline the moment you decide to access its top-end performance. Our second rider profile is the daily city commuter, a rider dealing directly with daily gridlock and heavy stop-and-go traffic. Multi-cylinder Superbikes are notoriously miserable in traffic, often roasting the rider's legs. The Z900 actively combats this with exhaust headers that are physically routed and angled away from the rider. Combine that heat deflection with a remarkably light slip-and-assist clutch, and your hands and legs are saved from exhaustion during dead-stop delays. The primary drawback for commuting is the physical mass. You are still maneuvering 212 kilograms of wet weight. That heavy weight demands significant exertion for low-speed U-turns, filtering through tight gaps, and backing out of parking spots. There are strict ergonomic limitations as well. Out of the box in India, the bike is homologated as a single-seater. There are no pillion foot pegs, and you sit on a taller 830mm seat that leans you slightly forward. If we plot this on an effort versus reward chart, daily city riding scores very high on the cost axis. You will average a meager 10 to 15 kilometers per liter, and your routine service bills will hit 15,000 to 25,000 rupees. Mechanically, the Z900 survives city heat better than its rivals, but its running costs and heavy frame make it an expensive, solitary choice for a daily commute. Our third and final rider profile is the experienced rider, someone who pushes the limits during aggressive weekend canyon carving sessions. Here, you hit the limitations of the Z900's basic suspension setup. It only features preload and rebound adjustability, lacking the fully adjustable compression settings found on track-focused machines. When doing high-speed, straight-line highway runs, this heavier, softer setup is excellent. It absorbs pavement imperfections and keeps the bike highly stable. But when an experienced rider pushes the pace and brakes hard into tight corners, the suspension struggles. The front end dives and fails to provide critical feedback about the tire grip. This comparison matrix highlights the chassis differences. Compared to a lighter, sharper rival like the Triumph Street Triple R, the Z900's heavier weight causes the rear end to wallow and understeer under heavy cornering pressure. Kawasaki did add a bi-directional quickshifter for 2025, which provides crisp, clutchless gear changes and a sharp pop from the exhaust on downshifts, amplifying the thrill of hard acceleration. Ultimately, this exposes the bike's specific character. It prioritizes blunt force acceleration and highway stability over razor-sharp, flickable cornering dynamics. Track day veterans will quickly locate the limits of the chassis, but aggressive street riders will be highly satisfied by the sheer straight-line thrust. In the Indian market, the Z900 holds a unique position. It offers an unmatched engine-to-dollar ratio. This decision flowchart breaks down the reality of the 9.99 to 11.75 lock price tag. You are paying primarily for that massive inline-four motor and accepting the heavier, softer chassis compromises that come with it. If your goal is acquiring the signature inline-four sound, highly tameable street power, and daily mechanical reliability, the path leads directly to the Z900. If your priorities involve carrying a passenger, achieving high mileage, or keeping routine service costs low, the path points away from superbikes. And if your primary focus is lightweight agility and cornering precision for track days, the path points toward European or Japanese triples. The Kawasaki Z900 does not pretend to be a razor-sharp track weapon. It is the definitive heavyweight street brawler, delivering prestige, massive power, and a surprisingly forgiving ride for those ready to handle the weight.